Hi there, welcome back once again. DJ Maul here to sit down and talk to you about some cool vintage stuff I've been collecting over the past several months. Been kind of on a vintage collecting kick lately, and not just your typical action figures and spaceships and stuff like that, although there has been some of that. But I've been finding a lot of just cool old stuff from the original trilogy era that you don't necessarily see every day or have, as part of what you call a standard collecting thing. And I've been finding them at some shops in my area that recently scored a lot of vintage stuff. We'll start with some books. And these are some old vintage books from the original era, including this Darth Vader's activity book with some cool activities and crossword puzzles. Some of these have been doodled in or written in or what have you, but these are from the original era. These are all vintage. There is a Yoda activity book here. And again, this has probably been doodled in and drawn in and written in on several pages, but pretty neat little edition. These were all picked up very, very cheap, by the way. There's a Return of the Jedi word puzzle book. And these, again, are all from the original era. These are very, very old, from, 77 up to 83, 84. So I found a couple of those, and we also found a couple of really nice copies. I'm going to open up one of these of the hardcover Story of Star Wars books. These are the hard copies, and these are gorgeous shape, and lots of really nice bright photographs inside, and of course the story in there. And these are all vintage. I got that one, and I also found the Return of the Jedi one. I'm gonna have to go back and find Empire Strikes Back now. We found some interesting school supplies, and this is from 1983, a Return of the Jedi school folder, just trapper keeper, whatever you want to call it, that you open up and stick the paper in, and it's the same picture on each side. And we also have some book covers, and I have to cover those books and keep them protected. This was an unopened bag of 1983 Return of the Jedi book covers. And again, I scored all this stuff very, very cheap. I did not spend a fortune on this stuff, most of it like $1. I found, speaking of Story of Star Wars, a vintage Story of Star Wars record album. Yes, kids, this is what a vinyl record looks like if you have never seen one. And the storybook is still inside as well. One of these days I'm going to have to find a turntable to play it on. Let's see, what else did we find? These are some interesting scores that we found. And this one was an eBay score. And this is from the theatrical release, 1977, Star Wars. These were issued out to theaters, theater program. Now this is the American version, with, of course, English. A lot of cool pictures and stuff in it. Tells a story, has some production notes, things like that. And then recently, thanks to my friend Green and White Jedi, I just picked up the Japanese version. This is from 1977, and this was released to Japanese theaters. And see if you can see that there. It is in Japanese, and I can't understand a word of it, but it's got some great pictures in it. It's got a few creases on the front cover, but other than that, it is in really good shape. So that's a neat little vintage find. Let's see what else we have here. Trading cards. Now, I don't go big on trading cards. I used to have a lot of them in the past, but I found these, and these were cheap. These were the Wonder Bread cards, and these were actually stuck in loaves of bread, and you had to collect the whole set by buying loaves of bread. This is not a complete set, but this is several of them, and I found them at the store for a couple of bucks and grabbed those just for fun. And I also found something most people don't really think to keep, I don't think, but these are the Return of the Jedi trading card wrappers. These are the actual wrappers that the cards came in. There are 4 different ones with 4 different pictures. And I picked them up very, very cheap. They're garbage, but they're kind of fun at the same point. Now this was a more interesting find, and they don't cost a lot. You can find these if you look for them. This is an unopened pack from 1978 of Star Wars trading cards. The bubble gum is still inside. This has never been opened, and this is an original Topps trading card package. Last couple of items, let's go over very quickly. These were, and I'm still not quite sure where these were from. These are some old Star Wars stickers. These are dated 1977. They have been peeled apparently and stuck onto something. They're very faded, as you can see. Not quite sure what the history on these, and I have to look it up one of these days, but they were dated 1977. They are very, very cheap. and just for fun I threw them in there. Last couple of items. Oh, we have, this is a Topps trading card box. This is something you sent away to put your trading cards in if you were collecting the trading cards. You could store them in there and keep them protected that way. Last couple of items, we have this little land speeder, and this is dated 1978 from General Mills. So I am assuming this is a toy mail away of some sort from General Mills that you had to send away for. I'm not sure of the history on this either. It is missing the windshield, but it was a neat little item, and it is vintage, and I added that to the collection recently. Last couple of items that I just got, and there are more than these, but I did get 3 of them. And let's see if I can do this without dropping and breaking them. But some beautiful vintage Star Wars Burger King glasses. This one, Return of the Jedi, and this one, Empire Strikes Back, and this one is also Empire Strikes Back. I got these for $1 a piece. One of these days I wouldn't mind tracking down the rest of those, but not a bad vintage score to pick up for a couple of bucks. So that's just some of it for now, and we'll sit down and show you some more of it later. Thanks again as always for tagging along.